Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Instant Ramen podcast. Today with me, Chris, your host, is Kate, my good friend, who has been a big fan of anime pretty much her whole life. So she's going to be teaching us the ins and outs of Fairy Tail.
Heck yeah.
Going over each episode in extensive detail until the end of time, I think. I don't know. Fairy Tail's huge.
I don't think that's a good idea.
So anyways, we'll start out with how, I guess, we know each other. And then from there, how you got into anime, kind of what your history with anime is. So, yeah. Do you remember how we met?
Well, I was working at Starbucks.
Mm-hmm.
You came in.
Also.
And you're
working.
like, I need a job.
Yeah.
You were trying to transfer, I think.
Yeah, at that time, yeah.
And I was supervisor, and I was like, I'll try.
Yeah.
So then you transferred there, and we started working together, and you like nerdy shit, and I like nerdy shit.
That's true.
So.
Yeah, I remember on my first day working there, you were talking about going home and playing Super Mario World later, and I was like, first person I want to be friends with here. Already done.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But then we weren't friends for...
I know. I can't remember, like...
A couple of months, maybe?
I can't remember the first time that we hung out.
Well, because, like, we didn't work together often.
That's true.
I think that was kind of the issue. I was always closing with, like, Richard and Abe.
Oh,
so then I became friends with Abe pretty quick.
That's true. That's true.
Who is your husband.
Yes, he is.
Hi, Abe, if you're listening. Probably
I'm
not.
gonna
He doesn't support us.
I'm going to force him to listen to this episode.
Right.
Because he doesn't hear my voice enough, so.
There you go. And yeah, from that point on, we just kind of all had the same group of like coworker friends.
Yeah.
And then you transferred to another Starbucks store.
Yeah, I worked
but
at
eventually became my roommate.
I worked at like every single Starbucks in Chico. So
Yep.
literally. So I knew a lot of people at the time that worked at Starbucks, like every store.
Oh, absolutely.
And then I was living with my friend Sandra, and she moved down to the Bay because she was in a long distance relationship.
It doesn't work out
No,
always,
it sucks.
so you gotta...
So she
that
moved,
distance.
and then I moved in with you, and it was super fun. We watched a lot of anime in the living room.
a lot of anime.
A lot of cool stuff. I never, because you like kind of like the fringy stuff, or like
I guess.
like I'm a big shonen nerd.
Yeah,
I love that actiony.
Yeah. I'm gonna tilt your mic a little bit
that's a good
towards you.
idea.
There you go.
And we watched a bunch of stuff. I think like Eureka 7 was like the first thing I remember.
Eureka 7.
Being like, oh my god, this
I
is
know we
awesome.
watched, like more shit, not just like, hey, let me show you. It was
Yeah.
more so just like,
We started
I just watching
watching
new anime. You want to find something?
Yeah, we started watching the Devil part-timer
Yeah,
show.
Devil is a part-timer.
And I was like, this is going to be cool. And then after like 8 episodes, I was like, I straight hate
I think
this.
it was just like 6 episodes.
Maybe.
We didn't even make it that far.
No, we didn't.
Because we were super into the whole fun idea of, oh
Yeah, it
man,
was-
this is going to be great. And then it just turns into
It was going to be so
a
cool.
rom-com with like no real personality.
Yeah, I was not
behind the
about it.
characters.
I just-
to me.
There was like a lot of lead up, and then it
Yeah.
was like,
Well, they just changed it so much over and over and over
Yeah.
so quickly that it became difficult for me to be invested in it.
yeah. Well, and
Then again, other people fucking love it and they want season 2 so bad.
That's true.
It's just like, it didn't work for me. It wasn't my thing.
Yeah, me
And I'm
either.
surprised it wasn't your thing either.
I know, I love
considering
the
how
shit
many
that-
people fucking loved it. It just so happens neither of us were into it.
Yeah, it's true.
And then Umaru, we both got into Umaru-chan.
Yeah, that's because I'm like the person. I'm her embodiment in real life.
Just chips, Dr. Pepper,
Yeah,
anime, and
but not
video
like
games,
the
man.
not like the part where she's like a normal person.
No,
I'm
no, just
I'm
the
just the
monster
monster all of the time. So it's
And
the
then,
best.
yeah.
I actually got like a little costume, her
yeah, you
little
got the
blanket
little-
cape that she wears. I own
the
that.
hamster cave.
Yeah,
That's killer.
yeah.
But yeah, from there, you've watched so much fucking anime. I would argue that you've watched probably more than I have, just as far as like content.
Maybe.
But I've watched more animes.
Yes.
You've watched more content,
I've
probably.
in bulk
Yeah.
of like the same shit over and over.
I mean, after like, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You can watch the same things, but, yeah. So, what are your favorite animes? Today we're talking about Fairy Tail, so clearly that's like one of your favorites, if not your favorite.
It's not my favorite, but I really did enjoy it, obviously. Yeah. So, okay. So should I talk about how I got into anime first?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing I ever remember watching was I was really close with my cousin. We're like a couple months apart. Mm-hmm. In her house, she had like cable and like fancy TV channels I didn't have. And they had Princess Mononoke on. And
on TV?
On TV.
Whoa.
Yeah. I remember it was the first anime I ever saw, and I was way too young to be watching it. Yeah. And it scared the shit out of me, like the pig monster.
Right, yeah.
I was like, oh my God. I'm like, had nightmares about it for a long time. But I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this isn't like a normal cartoon. But I mean, I watched like Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin. Those are like Toonami. I was like all about it. I used to like race home so I could watch Hamtaro.
Dude, I always forget about Hamtaro because I would see like a couple episodes here and there. But yeah, that was a little bit more difficult to find for me. So you had to race home to watch it?
Yeah, well, because it was on like I was like getting out of school. So I'd barely catch like the last like 20 minutes or like the last 15 minutes of it. And I'd always be like, God damn, I'm missing Hamtaro.
That's how I felt about this Sonic Underground show.
I never watched that.
I definitely watched that. And I had to race home to watch it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it was like Digimon for an hour. It was great.
Yeah. I wasn't into Digimon. My brother was, but I watched a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z was like our main show though. I like literally would I had like one of those TVs that had the VCR at the bottom.
Yeah, and you would tape every
And
episode.
I would tape out. Well, I started doing that really hard with Inuyasha because it came on at like 10:30 at night and I wasn't allowed to be up that late. So, and I watched every episode of that show.
Fuck, that's it. Well, this should be an Inuyasha episode.
Oh, no. I went back and watched it after like a year because I watched it when I was like in middle school. And after I went back, I was like, man, there's so much like that I don't like about this
so
now.
Much bullshit. I mean, you know, like Trigun was one of my first anime.
So
right?
good.
And
so good. That was on Toonami too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And Cowboy Bebop.
But it was also really late. Yeah.
Yeah. Both of those were like.
I had to watch over at my friend's house because I didn't have it at my mom's. And at my dad's, I set it up to record after I figured out like what channel it's on because he would always just like set it up, right?
Yeah. And you're like, how do I do this?
But then that was in like 6th grade, I think, that I watched it. And then rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, there's so much old ass anime bullshit that shouldn't be here. But like the core of it is like what I love. Yeah. But then all that other shit's like, I'm glad we stopped doing that, you guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, okay, so when I was like super into it, I was like, this is so fun, like it's so funny. The characters are like hilarious and whatever. But as I go back and I'm like, oh God. Yeah, there's just a lot of filler and a lot of like, it's the same thing with Dragon Ball Z is like, there's a lot. I think Dragon Ball Super now is better because there's like less of that, less of like whole episodes of them like powering up, you know?
I think I've only watched one like real ass episode of Inuyasha that's not filler or anything because I would always just have it on. Like it's late at night, throw on fucking Toonami, hang out. I think I only watched probably one episode that wasn't filler because I remember like
there was a lot.
There was like a fight,
but there was like
I was blown away. I was like, that was fucking cool. Why isn't the rest of this bullshit?
It was definitely like that. But I remember that was the first anime that I watched that I remember being like, I really like the intro of this. Like, because I'm like notoriously still like I'm not super into like intros or outros. I know that you and Juan talk about it all the time. You're like, oh, the intro is so good, like love the song.
Well, I mean, okay,
you're a music boy.
Hang on, while we're on this topic, really quick, we'll jump back to Inuyasha.
Yes.
You just recently watched Erased.
Yes.
What'd you do with the intro and outro?
Okay.
Because those. It reveals things in the plot. It's pretty cool.
That's true. Okay, so I've gotten a little bit better about not skipping the intro, depending on like what the anime is.
Sure.
But
I get that.
Gets to a point where I'm like, I don't care anymore, and I just skip it anyway. So probably like 6 episodes in, I was like, fast forward.
So it didn't even. Man,
I'm a monster.
Like, all of their like eyes and stuff are covered up in the intro, and then they like get revealed, and then there's one where like nobody's sitting around him, and then there's one where like everyone's sitting around him.
That's true.
And the intro's completely
changed.
Good. So it's really just like.
Maybe I should say I literally just finished a race last night.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
but as far as like intros and outros go, I feel like with shows that are really good and you could just tell all the love and effort that was put into it.
Yeah.
those are the ones that I stick with the intros and outros just in case.
Just in case.
The end of No Game No Life, or the ending in No Game No Life, having that whole like extra scene where there's some disconnect between our main characters and something happened plot wise, and the outro gets like all glitched and fucked up, and then it gives you extra scene and stuff going on.
Yeah.
That shit is like my jam.
Yeah.
When I first saw that, because that's like the first thing where I really saw it make an impact, because I was relatively new to anime at that point. I'd seen a lot, but I also hadn't seen like that much.
That's true.
As far as everything goes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so now I like can't skip intros and outros. Ever since that was the point where it's like, oh, I have to. Plus, you get into the songs sometimes and it's a jam.
Yeah. Inuyasha, they had this one song that I literally know the words to, but I'm not going to sing because I'm embarrassed myself.
You don't have to sing.
No, but I know the words because I recorded it and like rewound it because I liked it so much, and I played it like a million times. Yeah, it was sad. I mean, it was awesome because I was super excited about it. But I think like Promise Neverland, just to end on this, that was one, I think it was maybe one of the only animes that I've ever watched where I'm like, will not skip intro or outro.
But I also told you,
yeah, that's true. Don't you dare.
It's important.
That's true.
And it is important. Like the song ties kind of into what happens as an overall thing.
Yeah, it was so good.
Good. It's fucking great. Anyways, so Inuyasha, from that point, that was like kind of a bigger anime, right?
Yeah, it was a bigger anime, and like I feel like people knew it, and then that was like when AOL Instant Messenger was going on. I was such a nerd. I like my screen names were like characters from animes.
Really?
Like,
yeah.
I was such a nerd. But yeah, so I was super into anime, and then I think like during high school, it was like a secret. Like I didn't want to tell anyone because I was like trying to make friends, and was like, I'm gonna scare everyone away with how much I love anime.
See, man, I was fortunately the opposite in high school, where everyone kind of took me a couple of years, but then everyone was my friend. Like I was homies with everyone, so I'm like, so check out anime.
So nice,
so check out this anime. I don't know how much anime I fucking showed to people, but eventually I did make friends that would watch anime just on their own accord.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so much easier. You're like, God damn, then we can like maybe share, and you can maybe tell me something I don't know.
See this shit. Yeah. And now I watch all anime. So when somebody's like, have you seen Fate?
Like,
I'm like, I really want to see Fate, but like, honestly, man.
Okay.
It's too big.
Listen, speaking of too big, that like doesn't daunt me usually, but with the Fate, there's like too many like names that I can't, like if it was all under one, like, this is the Fate series.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I know exactly where to start, the beginning. But I don't know, with the Fate series, I'm like, I have no idea like where the beginning is. Like, what's the first one? I don't know. I'm not going to put that much effort into like researching like which one should I start.
Well, it depends, Kate. Do you want to start in chronological order, or do you want to start in airing order?
Oh my God, it's one of those. I can't handle it.
I know.
It's too much. That's where I'm like, that's where I draw the line of like, no, I can't.
I got really gung-ho at a moment, and I was like, I'm going to watch the Monogatari series. At that point, there were like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different Monogataris, and I can't do it, man. I tried, like, I got through a season, and then I started the second season. I'm like, oh, these are very different, but like totally the same. Mm-hmm. I'm not doing it. But I did look up like, oh, here's the order to watch it. Like, this is what you do. It doesn't really matter when you watch this one. This one's the one that you should start with, since that kind of introduces all the characters.
I remember when I was first starting Fairy Tail, because you were like, oh shit, there's a lot of that. And you're like, there's shit that you can skip, like filler episodes. Yeah. And I was like, nah, dog. I'm not skipping any of this. But it's so funny because like my favorite anime is like way shorter. My favorite anime is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I've never even seen the like.
You've never seen the original?
No, I probably should watch it, but
nah, it's not worth it. They're a little bit different, but if you already seen Brotherhood, I think it spoils.
Yeah,
this is coming from somebody who's never finished either. Okay. By the way,
I'm
but
so
this
disappointed.
is from what I've heard. It's just not for me, man. I wish that it was, but it's totally
That's
not.
The best part about anime is there's something for everybody.
Yeah, I guess. I was like, yeah, this is good. And then I would just fall off of it. And I have that problem with a lot of good animes, too. Yeah. Like, fucking Shirobako. I don't know how many times I watched the first 2 episodes until we finally fucking hunkered down and did it.
Yeah, there's not too many of that one either.
Yeah, no. And that one's just 24.
I'm done with the first season.
Yeah.
And I still can't decide if I like it or not.
Yeah, I liked it more in the second season. It was such high quality animation, and all the characters really felt real. But it was kind of hard because there's so much going on that it's hard to latch onto a plot. A red-haired girl's great.
Yeah, I'm notoriously terrible at names. Also,
it's fine.
Oops.
I don't think many people remember names unless it's like their favorite anime.
Oh yeah, there's
in which case you fucking remember.
Listen, there's an episode of this podcast that I listen to, and Juan adamantly calls Edward Elric, who's like the main character in Full Metal, like something else. Well, like Aaron. He keeps calling him Aaron, and I'm just like at home like, God damn it, Juan.
Yeah, and here's the fucking thing with Juan. He's the worst person with names that I've ever met.
But he knows what it is.
Do you know how many times he's called me Kyle? like
excuse you.
Yeah, or he calls Kyle Tripp or whatever it is, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? These are your friends. We're like hanging out at least every week,
every day.
It fucking blows my mind. But yeah, man, it's tough to remember names, and even Juan, who fucking loves Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, he can't hang.
Yeah, there's just some of them, you know. Well, there's like
so I wouldn't beat yourself up about that.
A million characters, so
true.
It's hard to pinpoint which one you're talking about.
Yeah. So you unlike me don't really keep up with current anime as much.
I realized I'm watching like 3 shows right now live, like waiting for new episodes.
Yeah.
And it makes me care less about them.
Yeah, you'd like to binge watch.
I love, like, I want it to be done, and I want to binge watch like 300 episodes so that I don't have to wait, because otherwise I feel less emotionally invested.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And I don't know if that's healthy or normal.
I don't know. I think that's just something that's kind of happened
with streaming. Netflix.
To me, it first happened with anime. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah, because all other TV, you could watch it just like weekly, or reruns come on or whatever the fuck, and it's all good.
Yeah.
But then trying to find anime, it was so difficult until streaming sites came out that like gave you free anime in like 180p or whatever.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, I could do this. Looks like shit, but I'm still going to watch it.
And you fucking watch it, and then you watch all of it just in like 2 settings.
Yeah.
And then LimeWire comes around.
Oh, yeah.
And then you watch everything.
I'm pretty sure that's how I watched Yu Yu Hakusho. I was like super into that show when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And that's one show that's like older. That and Rurouni Kenshin, where I'm like, I can go back and be like, these are still awesome.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Inuyasha, not so much. But the other two, I'm like,
I still stand by Trigun, but there are parts that are like...
Trigun and Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
All those old ones are like excellent.
Definitely.
I also watched some really weird, like, I'm pretty sure it's harem-y, but I don't know because I've never gone back to rewatch it.
What is it?
It used to be on freaking Toonami. I texted you about it. I can't remember.
Yeah, you probably did.
And all I remember about it is that there's a guy, Tenchi Muyo. That's what it's called.
Tenchi Muyo. Yeah, you did.
Yeah. All I remember about, like, I loved it because there was a bunny rabbit that turned into like a spaceship, and I was like,
that's all you need,
is
right?
Awesome. But I can't remember any of the plot or what it's about.
Yeah,
but there's like a lot of girls and just one guy, and I'm pretty sure if I go back, I'd be like, I don't like this.
I mean, hey man, I fucking loved Digimon. Like in high school, I went out of my way because you couldn't find all the episodes available for download on shit like LimeWire, or even when like seeding became more popular and whatnot. You couldn't find like a good way to pirate it. So I went on eBay and I found some motherfucker that burnt every episode onto like a ton of DVDs.
You're like, I bought it. Give me these.
Because it wasn't...
You couldn't get them.
You couldn't. It's a Canadian show.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So that's why it's so hard. Yeah, a lot of the old kids anime were dubbed by Canadian companies. So we didn't really get it in the US available to purchase all the time. Mm-hmm. I think that it changed later, but I don't know. Anyways, I couldn't fucking find Digimon. Long story short, I love that shit. Found it, watched it again as like a teenager.
You're like, still love it.
A child. But honestly, if I told you like what the plot was, I couldn't fucking do it. I could tell you like what the Digimon looked like, and sometimes what Digivolves into what, but not necessarily everything, because I don't remember what happened with like the Cactus Mon turning into Lilymon, and I feel like there's probably something else going on there.
Yeah, I don't know. My brother watched that show, and he had like the toys. What were there cards? There were so many.
There were cards.
So many damn cards, because like we had so many Pokemon cards. I am not unique in that. There's like a million people that were like obsessed with Pokemon cards. But we also watched Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's real repetitive.
I think
it all is kind of.
It's true. I think the most popular cards were Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! At my school.
Yeah, I remember this kid stole my. Oh man, that's when I got out of Pokemon. He was like, I was like 2 or 3 years younger than him, and he's like, "Can I just like take your Pokemon?" I had a binder, like baseball card binder.
Yeah.
And I had like 2 pages full of holographic cards, and I had a holographic Charizard, and I was so excited about it. And he's like, "I just want to take it home so I can show my blah blah." And then I let him, and then he never came back with it.
Ooh man.
Yeah.
What a trickster.
I was so upset. I'm still angry. I don't even remember that kid's name.
I fucking hate that kid.
Yeah.
Unless he apologizes,
fuck you, kid. Whoever you are.
Really sincere about it, but that's pretty fucked up, kid.
No, yeah, he's fucked up.
Okay, so then, like I was saying, you like to binge watch things, but you do keep up with certain shows. So I guess, what have you been watching recently? What's kind of your steez?
Right now, I just finished Erased.
Yeah,
that was awesome. It's only like 12 episodes, so...
Yeah, it's an easy watch.
Yeah, it's super
Honestly,
easy.
Everyone should go out and watch it that hasn't.
Yeah, it's really good. It's not on Netflix. It's on Crunchyroll.
It's on Crunchyroll.
Probably on something else,
Netflix has
too.
the live-action adaptation, which I think it's one of the few actual good ones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's good.
Dude,
it's not worth it because, like...
Nah, just watch the anime.
Just watch the anime. It's fucking great.
Yeah. Get out of here, that
but
live
also,
action
if you
shit.
do want to see live action, it's like,
okay,
it's good.
All right. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just finished Erased. I finished recently Promised Neverland. And I've been like dragging my feet on that so hard because with shows that I know or perceive them to be slightly stressful, I'm like, I get this built up wall of like, I can't do it.
It was so easy.
Yeah.
It was so good.
It's really good. You should watch it.
It's such a quick, because like every episode you're compelled to see the next one.
And
so,
you know, that show, Promised Neverland, it did a thing to me that I haven't had happen in a really long time where I watched the very first episode and I was like, I give so much shits about all these characters already.
I know,
and that usually takes me at least like 2 or 3,
it takes you a few,
3 or 4 maybe episodes to be like, hey, like I really do care about what happens to this character.
Right? But you see enough of their like,
yeah,
their actual ambition and who they are, just
their
as
personalities
like a regular
and
person.
stuff.
Yeah.
They do such a good job with like,
you see them thriving in their like regular situation, and when shit kind of changes,
like,
you
what
see
the
like
fuck?
how they adjust to it and how they're still staying true to who they are.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool because a lot of anime, it'll be like, hey, you're in a different situation now, and the character just fucking 180s.
yeah, and you're like, okay, well, that's weird.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
You know, because some people do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more likely to be like, fuck. Okay, well, now I got to deal with it.
Yeah.
Instead of be like, I have to use every part of myself to deal with it, and that's all I care about now.
Yep.
I don't know. I see that in a lot of anime.
So things I'm currently still watching, like that are airing, is My Hero. Duh.
My Hero Academia.
Yep. Which I was really super into it because I binged like all of it, and now that I'm watching it like new episode by new episode, I'm like, God damn it, I like care a little less.
Yeah, it's a little bit harder.
I think I might stop watching it and then just wait for it to be like done with the season. But then I'm like, I'm gonna miss stuff. God damn it.
You are gonna miss stuff. Be like, man, this latest episode of My Hero, and you're listening to the podcast.
Yeah, I'm like, skip, fuck. Turn off.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So then, Food Wars, season 4. I love it.
That one you're okay with watching,
dude. Okay, well, the 4th season started, and I was like, who the fuck are these characters? I forgot because I watched like all 3 seasons all at once, and then they had like, I don't know, months in between. I don't know how long it took. Yeah. And then, so 4 seasons started. I'm like, wait, what? I was like, shit, I should go back and rewatch this, but I'm not going to. That's too much.
Yeah, that's pretty bold.
Yeah.
Feel that way.
Yeah, so Food Wars, and then the only other show that I'm watching is Dr. Stone, which...
I haven't seen the newest episode. I think it came out like a day or 2 ago or something, but...
I don't know. I like
it's changed. I'm into it, but I'm not like 100% into it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I first started watching and I was like, oh, this is a really cool premise. I'm excited. And I started trying to watch Fire Force at the same time. Like, they came out like on the same day, I think.
Yeah,
and
they did. And they were both really built up.
Yeah,
like,
there was like a lot of hype
everywhere
for both. Yeah. So I started watching both, and then I only got 1 episode done with Fire Force. I'm like, not for me.
Yeah.
Probably would be for me, but you didn't get me in the first episode. Sorry, bro.
It's tough, man. I mean, one of our rules of podcast is
maybe I'll go back when it's over.
There you go.
That's probably what's going to happen.
You give a show about 4 episodes to really show you what it is. And if it doesn't accomplish that in the first 4, then it's not worth it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's harder when you're like, all right, out of these 30 shows, what do I want to watch?
Yeah.
And you watch one of every episode.
That's kind of like where I was at because I started watching Fire Force when I knew I should have been watching like Promised Neverland and like a bunch of other shit. And I was like, well, I'm not going to watch this.
Yep.
And then Dr. Stone, I do like it. It's just, I didn't care about his like 2 friends at first.
Sure, but they're
like the boy and the girl.
Gone.
I still kind of don't care. Yeah, and they were gone for a while.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yeah. I like it. We'll see.
Yeah, I haven't seen the latest episode, but the last one that I did see,
I like the
it kind of
throwback.
started a war.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's kind of where
the
we're at.
throwback episodes, I liked those. They were good.
Yeah.
Where you're seeing how everything
his like dad
happened.
and stuff. Yeah, that was awesome. I really liked that. I did that episode, the latest episode that you saw.
Yeah.
They introduced that new character.
They did.
With the spear guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm pretty sure I know his voice. I got...
Okay, so Kate has this thing where she's able to...
I got a skill.
She's just really good at recognizing voice actors in different roles.
In English, I'm really good.
Yeah.
But I don't watch like majority of anime in English.
I mean, it's harder when you don't know their names and you don't know who they are at all. And yeah.
I'm usually like, oh, this character is this other character in this show.
Yep.
And then my husband...
You look it up and you're like, yep.
Yeah, and my husband's usually the one that's like, oh, you mean this person? I'm like, I don't know. And then he'll look it up and be like, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm like, yes. That happened in the Promised Neverland, like the first episode. Mm-hmm. As soon as Ray opens his mouth, I'm like, oh, it's Killua from Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
And then Abe was like, are you sure? And I was like, bitch, look that shit up right now.
Do it.
I'm like 100% sure. I'm not right all the time, but like a lot. I think a lot of the time.
You've only told me about when you're right about guys' voices, though.
I can't do it with girls. Yeah. That's why. I don't know why. Sometimes I can, but I haven't been able to do it in anime, like with Japanese actors. In English, it's really easy for like both, any gender. I'm like, oh, it's this person, this.
The easiest one to recognize is Mikasa's voice actress.
Oh, yeah.
So
she's got
if
a
you ever
voice.
wanted to look out for one, that's the one to do.
I will. Well, the one I've picked the most of is on accident. Or maybe on purpose because I'm obsessed with him. I watched a lot of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
And then I started watching Bungo Stray Dogs. And I love that show so much. But then they introduced like the detective guy.
Yeah, you love it, but you don't remember his name?
Yeah, no, the detective guy. And I was like, this is Levi. And Abe fought me on that so hard. He was like, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. Trust me, I know. And then I looked at him and was like, yes, I'm right.
I like that Abe tries to argue against.
He doesn't really. Not anymore. Okay. But yeah, so, and then, yeah, the guy in Dr. Stone, the guy in Dr. Stone that they just introduced is also Levi.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
And that's like,
I think I just pick his voice out of everything. Same with Carol and Tuesday.
Okay.
I watched that and I was like, hey, that guy... Mean grumpy boy is Levi's voice actor too. So, hey guy, I know I can pick you out.
Fucking weird, man.
It's just because I love Levi. So
yeah,
sorry about it.
Okay, so Dr. Stone.
Yeah.
And anything else you're watching?
No, not yet. I mean, no. I just my friend, he's like recently just getting into anime, or I don't know. He started. We were talking about Miyazaki movies, because like I feel like that's like the best starter.
It's a great landing point.
Yeah, the best landing point where you're like, hey, I mean, Spirited Away, watch that. It's excellent.
Check it out.
It's beautiful. Everything about it's great. And then I was like, oh, you should watch Porco Rosso. I love that anime.
It's really good.
Nobody ever talks about it. I feel like it's like really underrated for his.
It's kind of hard to talk about that because it's really good, but it's much more character driven than story. So a lot of people have hard times with character stories in this weird world. Why is everyone else a normal person?
Yeah, why does he turn into a pig? How come sometimes he looks normal?
So is he dead or not?
Yeah. So he basically like binged all of the like Miyazaki movies, and then afterwards I was like,
what was his favorite?
I don't know. I didn't ask. He's also
Or never mind.
Well, I was like, you should watch my favorite anime. And so I had him watch Full Metal, and he was like, oh, I really like this. And then he finished it like really fast. He's like a binger like I am. And then I was like, oh, I also told him about my weird thing where I have a list of anime boys I love.
Yeah.
And I was like,
let's see. I think that's so weird. I think there are a lot of people that have lists of anime boys they love.
Yeah. And I was like, maybe you can choose, or maybe you can find the one that I like. I'm going to have you guess.
Yeah.
He did.
Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah. It's Colonel Mustang, in case anyone's wondering. I like that type of anime character, Levi.
Yeah, kind of broody.
Yeah, I like
dark
the
hair.
broody grumpy boy. Todoroki from...
Yeah, Todoroki.
Yeah, he's on my list. I love him too.
He's 10.
I know.
He's 10 years old. He's a child.
I don't mean it in a sexual list.
That man's a child.
I just love him and his grumpiness.
It's all good. As long as you bring a little bit of pedophilia into the episode, it's all good.
Sweet, perfect.
So Juan will be happy.
Exactly.
Even though he hates
this is for you, Juan.
Because you're a monster. Whatever.
He's just jealous.
He is.
Yeah, so I forgot the question.
I don't know.
I started talking about my boys.
Yeah, you were talking
distracted.
about... You're talking about your friend who's getting into anime.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so he watched Full Metal.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, oh, I really like this too. And so then I had him watch Attack on Titan. I was like,
yeah,
just to let you know, this is a lot like darker in tone, I'd say. And also like a lot more graphic. But it's awesome and you should totally watch it. And so he did. He watched all of it. So he's up to like current season.
Nice.
And then he finished Promised Neverland like last night and then just started My Hero. Dude. And I'm like, maybe I should give him something that's like
not
as awesome.
Top tier, yeah.
Yeah.
Give him something that you like, but it's not your go-to.
I'm gonna make him watch Sweetness and Lightning.
Yeah, man, because that's a very different. Yeah, it's a very different kind of show.
Or Violet Evergarden, I think would be good.
It's too top tier. It's too top tier.
All right, fine.
It's got action. It's got drama.
That's true.
It's got characters. It's beautiful. It's fucking Kyoto Animation.
Oh, he watched Your Name. Speaking of beautiful
Your
things.
Name is great. Yeah.
After I think I had him watch that before I had him watch Attack on Titan.
You watched Silent Voice yet?
No.
Oh, you're fucking up big time.
I'm sorry.
It's like
I did watch The Boy and the Beast finally.
Who cares? That's on a totally different tier.
Okay, but I've had the DVD copies of both of those sitting on my like coffee table, and I'm like this one. So I'm working on it. Okay.
No.
Doing it.
It's not okay. I want you to go home and watch it right now. Come back and we'll do the episode.
Okay, I'll drive back to Sacramento.
Even though I have it here.
See you in like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not watching anything else.
It's always super fun to get people exposed to anime.
It makes me feel really excited. Like I'm slightly experiencing like how awesome it was for the first time when I watched it.
You just see like somebody else getting excited and you're like,
yeah,
you did it.
And it makes me feel excited when they like your recommendation.
Yeah.
Because I don't recommend anime to people because mostly people are like, I don't watch anime. And I'm like, well, you suck.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
It's hard, man. Like every once in a while they're like, here's a pretty accessible thing.
Yeah.
Just see how
just
you
here.
do.
Yeah, here you go. Just watch this some Ponyo.
But Promised Neverland, that's a pretty good one.
It is really good.
Yeah.
Well, I liked Erased because it's like
that one's
a murder mystery.
Like Juan and I have talked about,
exciting.
Erased is one of the best, I think, to tell people to watch if they've never been into anime. Because it's like, look, man, this could be a live action show. It's got all of the right elements there, but it's better as an anime because they're able to do a little bit more.
I think it's also like accessible for people who don't watch anime normally because there's not a lot of like the tropey characters and there's not like there is like fantastical element to it, but not like over the top.
It's like
because like I watch some weird ass shit, but you know. I watch a lot of anime, so I'm like down with it. So you gotta be like,
it's a very like these are people. The only suspense of belief you have to have is this guy has some weird power that he can't control.
Butterfly effect shit.
Yeah, this is just Ashton Kutcher. Is what we're watching right now,
but better.
Yeah, way better. So, anyways, I'm stoked that you're showing your friends some good shit.
But now
man.
I need something to watch. I need something that's done because
all right, well, we've got the Fate series.
Listen. No, not Fate series because
well, watch Kino's Journey.
Okay.
All right. It's like 12 episodes long.
No. I need something large to sink my teeth into.
I'll come up with something else. Watch Kino's Journey in the meantime.
Okay.
If you want, you could watch each iteration of Kino's Journey.
Is there more? Oh, you mean
there are
like
2 or 3 series of it.
I literally thought for a second you were like, just watch it in English and then watch it in Japanese. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
No, I tried to watch one a while ago because we were like, yeah, it's really, really good. You'll be into it. And like on the internet. Mm-hmm. So I found it and I watched it for like 2 episodes. And I'm like, yeah, nah, this isn't for me. But because I had watched that, I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to see what this new series is going to be. If it's a totally new thing. And then I watched it, I'm like, yeah, we get it. There we are. Kino's Journey. I'm in it now, boys. It's fucking good.
Okay. I don't even know what it's about.
Somebody goes on a journey with their robot
named
motorcycle. Kino goes on a journey with Hermes, who is their robot bicycle.
Okay.
And it's an episodic show, but it's fucking compelling. And there's one episode that's just it's one of the best episodes I've seen of anything of all time.
Oh,
absolutely.
That is setting the bar high.
But I won't tell you which one it is, don't worry.
Yeah, because I guess I'll wait.
Also,
to talk
Madoka.
About.
What about Madoka? Have you seen any of that shit?
Okay, I only watched the stuff that I watched with you.
I don't remember.
But there's like a bajillion things, and they're all named like the same thing, and like gets me confused because isn't there like a new one coming out or something, like a side story?
Yeah, but that's like after what? It's been 6 years, I think, since the last movie.
That's
something
true.
Like that. 5,
is it a movie?
6 years.
Shit.
Well, there was a TV show, and then there was a movie afterwards, and the movie afterwards is great. But it starts out and you're like, am I just watching the TV show again? And then you're like, no.
You're like, oh no.
This is fucking genius. Thanks, Madoka. You're the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
God damn it. Yeah, I've only watched the TV show and I forced Abe to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I like this.
The movies add so much more. Some of you have to rewatch the TV show in order to watch the movies. Or you can watch the summary movie, which is kind of shitty.
No, I'll
which
pass.
Juan decided to watch because
Dumb.
He didn't realize it was
Juan.
a fucking TV show that was amazing.
Yeah. This show is really good.
Yeah, it's really good. Anyways, I don't have any suggestions. Fucking, I'm an idiot. Made in Abyss.
I watched it.
You did?
Yes.
I don't know.
I really liked it. I want more, actually.
That's really good. I don't fucking know. All anime sucks.
Hey,
you've watched all the good shit. Why are you doing this?
No, there's got to be more. This is like what I like about it is you got to dig through.
You got to find
so much
through the bad shit,
and then you find a gem, and you're like, oh my god,
hold on to this.
You know, I started watching. Abe was like, you might like this show, Fairy Tale.
Oh yeah.
And we started watching it, and then it's something I actually got in trouble with because he was like, went to work and then came home and I was like 40 episodes ahead of him. He's like,
well,
what
we'll never catch
the
up.
Fuck?
Yep.
So he quit watching it because I ruined it for him.
Well, hey, I'm going to talk about what anime I've been watching recently.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Get into the news. No.
I'm terrible at asking questions.
That's not your responsibility.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Okay.
So, before you came over, I've been watching Ascendance of a Bookworm, and this latest episode...
I've been hearing you talk about this show on the podcast.
The whole story is she's trying to make books. It's an isekai, but she's a little kid who's sick. So this latest episode, she is helping out her friend who wants to be a traveling merchant, and she's like, all right, I'll have you meet with somebody who's a soldier who knows a lot of shit, and he knows a lot of people and has connections. We'll go and check it out. She's 6 years old. Her friend's 6 years old, but she's got something special going on, and like the people that interact with her can tell. They're like, all right, so even though she's like a peasant, she's fucking genius level. Like, what's happening?
Because she's from another world.
But they're not overtly like, what the fuck, this is amazing. Instead, finally in this episode, we had the character that she's been like learning how to write with say like, yeah, no, her whole family's really ordinary, but she's something special. Don't know what it is, but she's clearly got something different in her family. Her. And I like that they're essentially like, yeah, this family fucking sucks, but they're 6-year-old.
She's dope.
It was great. So at this point in the show, she has already learned how to make like an all-in-one shampoo conditioner thing out of some really basic home products that people don't know how to make. So every once in a while people remark like, oh man, your hair is gorgeous. Like, how did you get it so shiny? And like, your friend's hair is too. And she's like, yeah, I washed his hair for him. And they're like, man, that's incredible. What do you use? And she's like, it's a secret. And so now she's using it to like barter to make things or to get things to make her paper that she wants to make. So essentially she's been able to get enough kind of leeway in this relationship between the person that's teaching her how to write and his merchant friend. They've worked it out to where like, hey, if you can prove that you can make a product that can sell, then we'll do it. So first they ask the friend that she has, and he's like, I don't fucking... And she's like, hey, would you want to help me? And he's like, I'll just make whatever she wants, and then we'll sell it.
Cool.
And that's kind of what the story is.
Is there a lot of episodes so far?
No, it's like, that was episode 6 or something like that.
Gotcha. So maybe it's just a slow start.
It's a slow show. It's a really slow show that they're finally getting to this point. But they've also introduced that there's a disease out there called like Devour disease or something like that.
Sounds
like, maybe
brutal.
she has Devour, because she has, every once in a while she gets like a really bad fever, and then she gets like a smaller fever, but she's always sick pretty much. And
was she sick in like the real world before she got...
No, this is just like, man, this shitty fucking body. Like,
I gotcha.
I'm always sick and I'm a little kid and this fucking sucks. And now that they've introduced that, it ends with like, yeah, if she does have it, she's gonna die real soon.
Ooh.
And I'm like, okay,
Sweet.
so whatever. But it does have those
No big
Dr.
deal.
Stone elements of, okay, so now what I have to do is I have to get that in order to do that, and then I need to get one of these in order to do that.
I
and then
like
some of
that about
and
that show.
It shows you that,
Step by
okay, we
step.
need to do progress here. We have goals, we have ambitions, so that's something that's pretty satisfying.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyways, it's okay.
Okay.
I don't think it's like worth watching, but I kind of want to see it out just to see what happens.
You're already in it.
Exactly.
Might as well.
Let's see. Vinland Saga is fucking awesome right now.
Oh, maybe
Oh
I
my
should
god.
watch this.
You should absolutely watch Vinland Saga. I'm amazed that you haven't.
Okay.
It's the Attack on Titan people, but they're doing Vikings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think I saw this on like anime top 10 countdown something.
Probably.
I watch a lot of top 10 countdowns on YouTube. I don't know why.
Yeah, whatever. They're easy. They're accessible. It gives you.
I like to do it before I'm going to bed. I'm like, oh yeah, I know this anime.
You're like, I know that shit. I could go to sleep.
Yep.
I know it. Yeah, no, it's been really, really good. The plot point that they're at, it's kind of been like a... there's been a lot of different things thrown out there with one of the characters saying, oh, I hate these people, and I hate these people, but like, I'm with these people, but I hate them, and I'm going to turn my back on them later. It's a whole bunch of that, and you're like, I don't know if he's just telling that to these people so that they think that he's good, but he's not. And finally, we got to see what his actual kind of like feelings were.
Yeah.
And it started they're being chased down by some people, and it's winter, and like you have to keep going, but the conditions are really harsh out there, and everyone's just tired and hungry and like dying essentially while they're being hunted by this other group of people. And then because they're so weary, some people start doubting his true motivations, and then they turn on him, right?
Ooh, yeah.
So it starts a little civil war thing going on.
Exciting.
And I'm like, whoa, that fucking last episode was nuts. And you see him fight, and he's just killing 5 dudes with each swing.
Sweet.
Oh my god, it's sick.
It sounds like something right up my alley.
Yeah, you would fucking love it. And our main character is just... He's still just a little monster boy. But we have another guy that's been coming after him who's so excited to see him. He's like, hey, dude, I'm so glad you're still alive. We could kill each other now. Fuck yeah.
Sweet.
It's great. I loved this last episode. I can't wait to watch more. It's fucking great. Let's see. There wasn't a new My Hero. It got delayed.
I think it came out
just
last
came
night.
out. Yeah.
Baby boy. I haven't watched it yet.
Okay. I haven't seen it.
I just saw that it was
know
on
it just
there.
came out.
I watched the Dr. Stone because I was like, oh, this will be easy.
Was it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like leading up to something. They got a new roadmap of
Good.
to get
Is it a
something.
war roadmap?
Well, no. Well,
Okay.
kind of.
It's like
He's
a
like,
sign.
oh, this is the best. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter. It's
But-
fucking Dr. Stone. All we do
Yep.
on this show is spoil shit.
That's true. Okay. Well, he basically is like, oh, there's the most important thing like that wins wars and blah blah blah, and everyone's like, is it a nuclear bomb? Like,
yeah,
what?
Like, what's going to go
And no, it's a cell phone. He's gonna build a cell phone.
Of course, basically. That's the way it goes. Like, this'll end wars. Like,
yeah. I was like, what
fuck
the
you,
fuck?
Senku, you fucking science bitch.
Yeah, he basically was like, oh, maybe we'll be able to do this and like avoid casualties.
Maybe.
And I'm like, all right, sure.
Whatever. Could be good. All right, cool. That's exciting to know about.
Yeah.
I've watched more of the After School Dice Club show. And I'm done with it. I gave 5 episodes. I did not care about the last couple at all. It's just very like, oh, here's a game. Here's how to play it. Also, nothing else matters in the episode. The characters are all really basic, but they're, of course, trying to make you care about their interactions and kind of like their growth. I just couldn't do the last couple of episodes.
Yeah.
Didn't connect with them at all. It is cool seeing the games, but it's also like... Who knows? I think that they're trying to be like, yeah, this girl wants to make a board game. So maybe the last episode would be them playing her board game.
I see.
Or maybe I just read into things too much.
Maybe.
Because I would love that. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's see. What else am I watching? The Kimono Wrestler, whatever that's called. The dude that wrestles animals and wants to like make a profit and sell them. Mm-hmm. We got some backstory on the dragon girl. Essentially she's fucking hardcore. She has a like a bodyguard with her that's a vampire, and she's a drunk vampire, and we get to see the backstory between it. They're from a house of nobles, and ever since she was a little kid, she has had kind of somebody that she's rivals with, but she doesn't realize it. She just beat her in like a little like wrestling tournament thing. I don't know what it actually was. It was some kind of a physical competition.
Gotcha.
And this chick is like actual nobility, while the dragon chick is a little bit less than that.
I see. So the other lady is like, you beat me and took my honor.
Yeah. And
you're
dragon
below
chick's
me.
like, I'm like just here for food.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
I relate.
Yeah.
That's why I'm
she's
here.
Like, all right, well, we're going to throw down, you and me. We're going to fight. And she's like, I don't want to. I just want to eat. And then she's like, well, I've challenged you and you absolutely have to. And if you don't want to do it, then your bodyguard has to do it against my bodyguard. So it's a half vampire, which is the dragon chick's bodyguard, versus a full vampire.
Oh, bad news.
Bad news
Gotcha.
is essentially it. Or a demi-vampire, whatever the fuck. Anyways, they duke it out. Our chick's bodyguard loses. So she's like, okay, well, I'm not going to give her up. So whatever, you're fucking bad or whatever doesn't mean shit to me. She's like, well, that's fucking bullshit. Then you and I are gonna throw down. And she's like, okay. And she takes off her dress, and I'm like, all right, I don't want to see a naked little kid here. But then she does that because she's turning into a giant dragon.
Oh,
sweet. She didn't want to rip her clothes.
I gotcha.
And then apparently they didn't even fight because she's a huge fucking dragon.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's neat. I like that she could turn into a giant fucking dragon. So
that's pretty cool.
All right, I'm down with it. It's a fun show. It's just like, it's an isekai that does not take itself seriously, but it still stays true to the genre. So it gives us really good moments of that like action fantasy isekai while also maintaining the fucking goofiness of a comedy that it wants to be. We also got to see a little bit more of story behind our main character got summoned in to be the hero. Mm-hmm. And now there's actually another side that summoned somebody in to be the villain. So there's like a heroes and villains in this world.
That's cool.
And of course they both wanted to do the summoning, and it happened to be the person that was rivals with our main character back in the real world, because they were both wrestlers, and it was a similar thing to where he's just like wrestling whoever. Meanwhile, the only person that this guy couldn't beat was our main character, so he gets summoned in as the evil one because he's so like filled with hate. And don't know where that story's going yet, but I assume it's just going to wind up being they wrestle and then he loses again.
Probably.
Because they don't get any extra powers. They're literally just the same, but they're really, really strong, good wrestlers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So anyways, it's neato. I don't know what the fuck else I've been watching. I haven't watched more Babylon because I think I'm done with Babylon since the last episode, which got really, really weird.
I'm gonna start watching that
weird show.
Iron Fortress whatever show.
Oh, Covenant of the Iron Fortress.
Yeah, those are Attack on Titan people too,
yeah,
right?
It's real okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Go for
eventually.
it, man. It's all right. It's a good show. Like the first half is way better than the second half.
Yeah. All right.
So you'll have a fun time.
I'll
like it.
I'll probably like all of it.
First episode, you will lose your goddamn mind.
All right.
I'll tell you that much.
Dope.
And then it's just downhill from there.
Aw. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, but that's the way it is. You're like, I want to see the next episode so bad.
I want to watch an anime where I give so much shits about the character. Like, I want some emotional depth. Yeah. I want them to earn my feelings.
Okay. But don't you also want that right from the start?
Yes.
Like Promised Neverland?
Yes. And guess what? That doesn't exist a lot. Makes me sad.
I know. What about Violet Evergarden?
Dude, I cried so much. I don't cry. But I don't cry.
But that show, it pulls it out of you. Yeah. Did that show give you like that same feeling of right when you start out, you're like, I'm committed to these characters? Or did it take a couple episodes?
No, I think it took a couple episodes for me. Usually, like, I would say 99% of the time when I watch an anime, I'm like, I'm interested. Right. But I don't feel emotionally attached to them. But with Promised Neverland, maybe because they're kids, I don't know what it was. So I was like, oh no.
I don't know. I think that they're so incredibly capable, but also so incredibly hopeless.
Yeah. I think it's the situation and everything about it. Yeah. So good.
It's, an amazing show.
So good.
Have you watched A Place Further Than the Universe?
No.
Watch that one.
All right.
It's also 12 episodes.
God damn it,
it's a self-contained thing.
I need 300.
I know. But it's on that same level of characters you can care about.
Okay.
And even the fucking, like, I'm not going to tell you anything.
Yeah, don't.
But I hate the main character's haircut.
Okay.
Don't worry. Just don't worry about it.
Speaking of things that you hate.
Yeah.
I can't watch an anime if the voice acting is shit. Or if they've got a character that's like, say, the main character.
Yeah, Black Clover.
Yes. Mm-hmm. My old roommate is watching that right now. And I'm like, I want to stab my ears out when I tried. Because like, it's one that I would like. Mm-hmm. The plot, the storyline. It's like super...
How far did you get?
4 episodes maybe. And I was like, I can't handle it.
It gets so much easier.
I don't believe you.
That's fine.
He just screams all the time. I can't. And that's exactly the same thing that happened to me with it was like, maybe we should try and watch Naruto. Oh, yeah. And I watched like 2 episodes. I was like,
you didn't believe it.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, you don't believe it.
I hate his dumb voice. Okay. I really care. I think literally over animation for me. Like if an anime looks kind of like crappy, but it's passable, but their voice acting is really good, I'm in. But if it looks really pretty and they have really shitty voice acting, I'm out. Goodbye.
All right.
Can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah, it's not so often that. I don't think that's shitty voice acting, by the way.
No. I'm sorry. What I mean is a character that's so annoying to me that they're doing their job, but I'm like, I can't.
You just hate obnoxious characters.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I got so disappointed in Demon Slayer, man.
Dude, I feel... Okay, listen. I love Demon Slayer.
I know, yeah. You watched all of it. I loved it.
It was fun. It was really fun. But not my favorite. Probably because fucking yellow hair boy is so... And the other one. Both of his friends are like so irritating to me. Yeah. I'm like, just shut up and go away.
But then Nezuko's okay.
They have points in it where they're like, oh yeah, your annoying friend is cool. Only when you're asleep.
They have to... They have to make them cool somehow. It's just so... Oh, man. It's so fucking frustrating that he's just so annoying. And then because he's so annoying, he becomes cool.
No, he still sucks. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, I hate it. Sorry, people who love him.
Because he sucks, it allows him to be cool, which is frustrating in power to me.
I mean, I do...
Just be cool. Fuck.
I do like their backstories. And I mean, that's cool.
Yeah.
But...
The Crow got annoying really fast to me.
Like the TV show? Wait, the movie?
No, the character.
Oh.
Demon Slayer. The actual Crow.
I literally was thinking about like Jet Li's son movie. Like,
all right.
Oh my God, never mind.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the Crow is irritating, but not as bad as whiny.
Oh no.
Yellow hair boy.
Not that bad. But there were just enough like little things that irritated me. I also really didn't like the.
Would you say
I don't remember that dude who was defending like his demon when they were in the city?
The main character?
No. There was that chick that had the like really nice little place they totally destroyed.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
He's like in love with her.
Dude.
Yeah, he's
I fucking hated him. She was almost nothing to me.
No, she's cool.
I didn't care about any of the characters. I really wanted to because parts of it looked fucking good. The arrows was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in any anime.
Which arrows?
they had a big fight in that place with the chick.
Oh,
and there were the two that came in.
Oh, with the hands and the movements. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Well, you know,
fucking shows the arrows, and it looks so fucking dumb.
I
understand it, but I thought it was unique. Dumb. Yeah, it is. If that was in a video game, I would have been fine with it, but I hated it in an anime. I don't know why, but it just felt so like, yeah, but it's so much less real than it was before now, and I just don't care.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it.
I don't know.
Would you say overall that you're like a shonen? Like, it seems to me like you're not really that super into like that type of anime.
It completely
You do
depends.
like them sometimes.
Yeah, it totally depends.
Yeah.
Because like I'll try my best to enjoy anything that's in front of me.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it needs to have characters that I care about. So that's why I wind up liking Slice of Life a little bit more, because it doesn't give me as many annoying characters, and it tries to make them as likable as possible.
And they're kind of more like realistic.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. So they're like, that's why I'll try to be more into Slice of Life, just because the characters are a little bit more easy for me, and I can relate to them, I guess, more, or at least like try to see from their point. When if you're in a shonen universe, it's like your goal is just to be more powerful, and I can't access that part of me. I don't give a fuck about who I am.
Yeah.
So I'm just in it for a fun time, man. But then when there's Attack on Titan, and it's like, all right, your goal is survival. That's something I understand.
Yeah.
And you all survive in different ways. I'm interested in seeing how people survive.
They do a really good job with character development in that show.
Exactly.
And it also feels like when you're watching, you're like, no one's off limits. Anyone's going to die. And like right now.
It's fantastic. There are different reasons that I like different shows so much.
I like the girl who eats a lot, because that's me.
Sasha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just gives a shit about, I want to eat everything.
She's fantastic. Potato Girl's
Give me
great,
that potato.
Dude. Yeah, but in general, I think that shonen are one of my favorite genres when they're good.
Yeah, they do it really good when they're good.
I don't think I could say a Slice of Life show is like, oh, it's the best, you have to fucking watch it.
Yeah.
There's nothing out there that's like that, in my opinion. The closest thing I think there is A Place Further in the Universe, which you'll watch it and you'll totally fucking understand what I'm saying.
Yep.
But that's not a slice of life. It does have a goal. It's got ambition and plot and characters. It wants to unveil like every part of it and show their growth. It's a shonen about going to Antarctica.
Oh, wait. I did watch this.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I'm sorry.
Dummy?
I don't know the names of things sometimes.
I guess
I was
not.
like, listen, I definitely watched that one.
Yeah, it's great.
I was like, Antarctica. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah.
And I liked the characters.
Yeah.
And like, it's pretty when they get to like, you know, it's awesome.
It's great.
It was really good. You're right.
So it's hard.
I did like it.
That's like... It's a slice of life, but it's definitely not.
Yeah.
It's just a drama. So I think dramas are just my favorite genre, because shonens can be drama. Like Promise Neverland, Attack on Titan, they're fucking dramas whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Would you say Promise Neverland doesn't seem like a shonen to me? Is it?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's fucking... There's so many different genres of anime that fit into so many different
That's true.
Yeah. So it's shonen.
Yeah. Well,
but you don't have many options as far as anime goes.
Food Wars is like...
That's a shonen.
It's a shonen, and it feels like a sports anime, and also like...
And sports anime is shonen.
Oh, I don't know anything.
Yeah. It's just a subgenre.
Yeah, I love
depending on what the focus is. If the focus is the sport, it's like a shonen.
Okay.
So the focus is like the food, and it's a shonen.
Yeah, it definitely is a shonen. Okay, well, I love that show.
Getting into the semantics of genres is just too fucking difficult.
It's too much. It's just a good show. Just watch it.
It's just people orgasming when they eat.
Okay, listen. That is a small part of the show.
That's part of the show that I remember.
I like the plot and the story and the characters. And then that part when they do, like, they eat the food and like, oh my God, so good. Let me rip all my clothes off.
Yeah.
That is funny to me.
Yeah.
But when shows, okay. When we talk about Fairy Tail, that will come up probably.
Okay, so I think that's a pretty good point to just get into Fairy Tail.
Okay.
It's a shonen that's fucking huge. It's one of the top of like the giant ones. There's One Piece, there's Bleach and Naruto, there's Dragon Ball, and there's fucking Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are a couple that I'm forgetting right now.
Probably.
Fairy Tail is one of the ones that it's amazing that it's over.
I can't believe it's over. I'm really upset about it.
Just recently ended.
Yeah.
I have zero opinion.
Like a month ago.
Because I know
2 months
nothing.
ago. Okay, well, I'm going to teach you. Because you and Juan, mostly Juan, you motherfucker, I know you're going to listen to this.
Yeah.
You always mention Fairy Tail. And y'all don't know nothing.
Yeah, actually, hang on. News, there's nothing. There's nothing special. I forgot.
News.
Nothing special. So, news. My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU Season 3 is planned to air in spring 2020. There's one. Catch up. Get ready, Kate. Get ready for spring 2020.
What was that called?
My Teen Romantic Comedy SNAFU.
Oh.
I've never seen it. I don't know. And then Violet Evergarden, the film, has been rescheduled to release April 24th, 2020.
I'm going to watch the shit out of that movie.
Yeah, depending on when they bring it to the U.S. Because that's for sure a Japan-only date as of right now. Yeah. So we'll figure out when it gets closer who's going to get the rights and how it's going to air. If it's going to be another Fathom event or if it's going to be...
You guys can come hang out in our super sweet recliner chairs.
Hell yeah. Or we'll just do it here.
That's true.
Depending on the situation.
All right, fine.
No, you don't have to come here. Oh, I'm just saying.
I'll just go by myself then.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm...
Force Abe. He's never seen the show. He won't watch it. And I'm like, I'll fight you.
Why won't he watch it?
Dude, he's really weird about anime sometimes. He has like
I don't like action. I don't like drama.
He thinks it's too drama-y, I think. And he's like, he really likes very specific like types of anime. And he's not as big of a nerd as me about it. But
he's wrong.
He is wrong.
He's just wrong.
I'm going to get him to watch it. Don't worry. It just might take I might have to force him.
All right.
Pry his eyes open.
Making me mad.
Yeah, no.
All right, Abe.
We'll see.
I fucking see you, Abe. It's fine. Him and I don't have the same opinions on anything anyway.
Like at all. You guys are like wild. The polar opposites. You never agree on shows.
No, it's so funny. He's like, what do you think about this awesome thing? I'm like,
I hate it.
I don't like it at all. He's like, but you gotta love Star Wars, right? I'm like, shit, dude, that's like the one thing I don't.
You guys never agree on anything like at all. Well, you both... Did you like Gurren Lagann?
Yeah.
It's like his favorite anime.
Yeah, it's great.
Besides Cowboy Bebop. But
yeah, which I don't like.
I can't even speak to you.
It's fine. I've explained it on the show before why I don't like it. And it's because I like the characters and I like everything so fucking much. But it's a slice of life.
Steve
and
Bloom.
I fucking hate that.
You hate Slice of Life? You just talked about how much you love Slice of Life.
I love Slice of Life. But with this show, I did not want it to be Slice of Life.
Okay, that's fair.
I wanted it to be an ongoing plot so that those like 2 episodes or those 2 story arcs that were 2 episodes each, those were my fucking shit. I loved it. I loved getting backstory on characters. I loved like every part.
I love Edward. Edward's my favorite character.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know why. Ed's so good. Just a little fucking goofer. I don't know what her deal is.
She's the best.
Absolutely fantastic.
And I also love that her name is Edward. I'm like, yes. You're the best.
I love it. The episode where she's like first introduced was amazing. Anyways, I love so many parts of the show, but it
just didn't do it for you.
It didn't because it didn't have any ongoing plot, so I couldn't care about it. I'm like, man, they focused so hard on making so many good things.
And they didn't
I still
cash
just
in.
Don't care.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's fair.
All right, well, now she's gone for a little bit. Oh, hey, she's back. But like, why does it matter? It's a slice of life. None of this fucking matters.
Yeah. All right. Like, that's fair.
That's my thing is that I fucking love the seatbelts, dude.
Dude, I love Steve Bloom. Yeah. He's like one of the best American... Or is he American? I don't even know. English. He speaks English.
English speaking voice actor.
Yeah, he's really good. He's in like fucking everything too. So
yeah, especially from that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he plays Shishio. He's like the big villain in Rurouni Kenshin. Oh. And I love that shit. So good.
Anyway,
continue. Sorry.
To not dive into Cowboy Bebop.
Sorry.
Magia Record, Puella, Magi, Madoka, Magica side story.
See, there
remember
it is. Sad story.
Remember it.
I'm never gonna remember.
It released its first trailer this week. And I'm a huge fucking Madoka fan. I watched the trailer. I've played the game that this show is based off of. And it looks like the show is definitely not going to like do everything the same as the game, which I'm fucking relieved. So you have a huge cast of different characters based off of a couple of things that they showed. But overall, the trailer felt like it kept the same vibe, but made it modern and better and I'm fucking excited.
Cool.
I don't think that it's going to be better than the original series to me with the movies and whatnot, but if they fucking pull a Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online alternative,
oh hey man,
I will lose my fucking mind because that show is way better than Sword Art to me. So I would love if they pull a Gun Gale on Madoka.
Yeah. That would be pretty cool.
That's all the news that I have for this week. So like I said, there's not a whole lot.
Short and sweet.
Not much to talk about there. You're going to teach us about Fairy Tail.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try.
Which is like a 700... How many episodes is it?
There's like 300 something.
300 something episode.
Yeah, $2.99, 3...
Anime.
It's around 300.
It's made by the studios Satelight, who's done Log Horizon and Hellsing Ultimate.
So basically just Fairy Tail.
Yeah, and A1 Pictures, who's done Sword Art Online and Erased, amongst a whole bunch more. So, give me the skinny. When you started this show, it has a plot. It has a goal, right?
Yeah.
It's not just meandering.
No, it has a goal.
So what's the goal of Fairy Tail?
Okay, wait. So, let's see. I'm trying to go back to like the very beginning because I watched like literally all 300 episodes in like a 2-week span.
Yeah, fucking insane. Okay, so for example, like Hunter x Hunter is 150 episodes, 148, whatever. And our goal with that was to find Gon's dad.
Oh, okay. Well, this very first episode starts out with Natsu. And he's looking for any trace of like his dad.
So Natsu is the pink-haired boy.
Pink-haired boy.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes. He's one of the main, I'd say maybe like the main character.
Okay.
But it kind of focuses around like a group of like 5 of them.
Sure.
And well, it starts out with
boat.
And then a boat? No.
Get
out of here. That's One Piece.
Stretchy.
I've never watched One Piece. I bet I could finish it in like a month.
The thing that I think is fucking insane to me is that I know little bits and pieces about One Piece.
I don't know anything about One Piece.
And I don't know shit about Fairy Tail. Like, how the fuck did that happen? How did all of Fairy Tail's knowledge just like fall through the cracks?
I don't know.
So I'm so interested. Like, I just wanted to make that joke to say that somehow I've missed literally everything about Fairy Tail, honestly, despite having an anime podcast. And
so did I.
All that shit.
When I first started this when I first started my podcast.
What's your podcast? Plug it right now.
I don't have a podcast.
It's this episode.
Yep, it's this one. I own this. When I first started the show, Abe just put it on and was like, oh, like maybe we were looking for something to watch. We're bored. Yeah. And we started watching it, and I got like 2 episodes in, was like, this is my shit. Hell yeah. It's basically about, it starts out with this guy, Natsu, pink hair boy, and he is looking for what turns out to be his dad. Okay. And
what turns out to be his dad? Does that mean that he's looking for something, but it doesn't tell you what he's looking for?
Yeah. So
he knows what he's looking for.
The first episode starts out with like this. Really, it starts out with Lucy. She's this blonde-haired girl who wants to join Fairy Tail. It's like her thing. She's like, I want to be part of Fairy Tail. I'm sorry. No. I'm so bad.
No. You're doing great. I just realized that you named your dog after Lucy.
Oh, I fucking did.
Okay. I just have to make sure people know that now, that Lucy is named after a Fairy Tail character.
My dog. Okay. I'll get into that once we get there.
You're fine. I needed to make sure because it just clicked in my head.
Yep, I 100%.
I never asked where the name came from, but
Yeah.
Because my cat's named Jennifer, which came from fucking nowhere.
Yep.
So I figured Lucy was whatever.
Nope, it straight up came from Fairy Tail. So the first episode starts out with Lucy. She gets like a new key, and you learn that she's a celestial mage. She can like call spirits from the celestial realm. That's cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And she wants to join Fairy Tail. That's like this guild, and you don't know it. It's like they throw a bunch of information at you at first, and then she sees this like they call him Salamander, and he's like this wizard, I guess. He's a mage, and he is evil, pretty much. Turns out to be a bad guy, but he's like trying to get people like on this boat, and she ends up in the situation, and Natsu is with his flying blue cat, right? And his name's Happy. Explain
why
they do eventually, like why he has a flying blue cat, because you never see any other character like Happy for a very long time, and nobody ever is like, oh, what? And he can talk, so you're like, what the actual fuck? But magic and stuff. So
Sure, yeah, absolutely, every time.
They're in town because they are heard rumors about Salamander. And they think like maybe it has something to do with Natsu's dad that they're like looking for. Because they just disappeared all of a sudden when he was like a kid.
Yeah.
And Natsu, it's his dragon. His dad is a dragon.
Gotcha.
And he's not his real dad. You learn this very far, like, down the line. So,
cool.
Spoilers.
Big spoilers for
spoilers. If anyone's listening to this, I'm going to spoil everything because I can't even get the plot line. That's the whole basis
of the show. We already said it earlier. Don't worry.
We got it. So he ends up saving Lucy, like, at the end of the episode. And from this, like, bad wizard. And it turns out Natsu is actually what they call the salamander. Like, that's his name. And I don't know why he's called that. Because he's a fire wizard.
Okay.
And he's a dragon slayer. And I couldn't figure out for the longest time why he was called a dragon slayer if he's looking for his dragon's dad. Which at the very end of the show, you like one of the last arcs, you finally figure out like, oh, that's why they're called dragon slayers.
You know what, man?
I got it.
See, like that's something that prevents me from wanting to watch certain things is because I have these questions that I would like to get answered.
You do get answers.
Yeah, I know. It just takes you 300 and whatever episodes to get there. Well, it's hard for me because people made the same argument against Attack on Titan where they're like, it's just they don't give me answers.
Man?
I want to know that. And I'm like, look, you'll find out. Just
keep watching.
Now we're at the point where it's like, you'll have more questions. That's not the ultimate goal. Don't worry.
Yeah. That finding his dad turns out not to be like the ultimate goal. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the goal shifts over the show.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's a giant shonen. So you go into it expecting, all right, we're seeing this character find his dad. That
takes a long time, and it gets the backseat for like a while, and they go on like adventures and stuff. And you meet more of like the guild members and you learn like their relationships. And I think the reason why I like the show so much is that it's got like these like big themes of like family and friendship, like will rule everything.
Yeah.
Like we'll get through if we like believe in our friends and family.
That which is, I think
we will overcome all of everything.
I think that's a core of a lot of shonen.
Oh, it is. And maybe that's why I fucking love that shit so much.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's cool because like I feel like the characters are really like distinct and different from each other, and I like a lot of them, and I don't find any of them to be super terrible and annoying. And the show does like, because there's so many episodes and there's so many arcs, it does a good job of introducing characters and you straight up hate them, like they're evil, they're the bad ones, and they're fighting against them, and then somehow you end up being like, I care about them, and now they're like part of the group.
Yeah, it's because they don't reveal the depth of the character until...
And they do, like, one of the best examples of that is, like, Gajeel. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. But basically, he, like, wrecks the whole guild and is, like, in this, like, Phantom Guild, which is, like, their rival or whatever. It's, like, a dark guild.
Sure.
And he's a dragon slayer, but he's, like, an iron dragon slayer. So he can, like, eat iron and, like, turn his body, like, parts... in iron and like fights with that.
So the fact that you are a dragon slayer just means that you're
it's kind of like the
powerful
type,
in a way.
So what you assume for a lot of it is like, oh, it's just like their type of magic, because Lucy's like a celestial mage, and then Gray, is like one of the main characters, he's like an ice mage, so he makes shit out of ice.
Okay.
And fights like that. Natsu is like fire, he like breathes fire and like eats it.
So if you have magic,
he's super powerful and awesome.
If you have a magic, then
you have a type.
Dragon slayer.
No.
That's kind of the way that it felt for a while.
So they're all mages, but only certain, like, Natsu's the only dragon slayer mage for forever. And then you meet Gajeel and you're like, oh, wait, no, he's also, like, they introduce him as, like, a dragon slayer. Turns out his parent was a dragon also. So, like, that's what they have in common is these dragon slayers are raised, like, by dragons. And you're like, okay, well, where the fuck are they? And, like, that's, like, a big plot point is, like, where are all the dragons and why did they just straight up disappear, like, 7 years ago? And you do end up finding out, like, what's the deal with the dragons? What's the deal with that? And then they had, like, the big villain, like, at the end is, like, this other dragon. Or... like, it's happening in the same, like, parallel it's the big dragon Arcanoglia or whatever the fuck, however the fuck you say his name.
Sure, yeah.
And big spoiler, Zareth, he's like the main bad guy. He's like a wizard of death. And it turns out it's Natsu's older brother.
That's how they get you every time.
Mm-hmm, and yeah, he's basically like wants Natsu to kill him because he can't die. He's like stuck in this like loop. And like basically he's been around for like 500 years and
he's ready to die.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he has like a curse. And then it turns out like the first master of fairy tale has the same curse. And she's just a bunch of shit. And you're like, this is really confusing if you're trying to explain it to anyone that's never seen the show. So
you just dropped fairy tale as a term. For somebody that doesn't know what fairy tale is, what the fuck is fairy tale?
Okay, fairy tale.
How does that fit into this show?
Okay, so fairy tale is the name of their guild.
Oh, okay.
It is the name of their guild. The first master made it. They have like fairy tale marks. They're like guild marks.
Gotcha.
Which are different for like each different guild. So they all have like fairy tale guild people have the same mark, but it's like in wherever you want it.
So, second question.
Yes.
It's fairy tale, but spelt like a physical tale instead of a story.
They talk about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I was like, why the fuck is it TAIL instead of TALE? So, you get a lot of backstory on the first master, who is like dead-ish. She's not really dead. She's like in a crystal in the basement. It's like secret.
Yeah, totally.
But like her spirit, she's super powerful and awesome and like looks like a little kid and has really long blonde hair.
Well, it's an anime, so yeah.
So turns out like she lived on this island in the middle of, the ocean somewhere.
Island of Sirens.
Tenru? I don't know how you say it. But
Tenru.
Okay, she lived on this island. She had like a really special like she had no friends and she was really poor and she like walk around with no shoes and nobody liked her. And she would read a lot of books because like she just wants to like to read a lot.
Right.
And her whole island gets like massacred because people come to like steal their like artifact or something. Mm-hmm. So, but she's like the only one that lives and she like basically like hallucinates this girl, and so it's just her and this other girl. Her magic like creates her like of her subconscious because she's like an imaginary
alone. Friend that she actually made real.
Like in the show you see like the friend like dies, but then she's like, oh no, I'm fine, but really she's like dead the whole time. And they like joke and like laugh and like, oh, like because she reads so much, she's like, do you think fairies really have tails? And it's really like a throwaway thing unless you're like actually paying attention, but then that's like a thing. And she's like, oh, do you think like that's basically why she names it fairy tale, because she's like, I'm gonna start a guild, and she starts a guild with like these 3 people or whatever when they like come to the island like by chance, and she's like, I'm coming with you, and she's super weird and talking like this person that no one can see except her.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a good backstory, and like a lot of like serious shit happens, and you're like, wow, I did not expect like this show, which seems slightly like childlike in the beginning, to be like so like people get tortured in it, and like you're like, god damn, what's gonna happen? But it always ends up working out, and you're like, shit. So I don't know. It's that's where fairy tale comes from.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a long story.
All right, so how many story arcs do you think there are in fairy tale?
At least like 10.
Okay.
Probably more than that. There is only one that I hate.
Okay, so
I don't hate it. No, I don't like it.
Yeah, it was your least favorite.
Yeah.
You had to power through one of them.
Yeah. And it's like the Infinity Clock arc. I just did not care about it.
Do they have to do the same thing over and over?
No, it just comes after like an arc that like a really good one. Really good one. And then it was like, oh, I don't give a fuck about this. Who's this stupid person? And like, ugh.
Yeah.
And like the end of it was cool, but there's like so much like trying to figure out like what is going on that like I find it like I'm slogging through those episodes.
Right.
But maybe other people like it. I don't know. I didn't. That's the only one. But everything else, I was like, yes, this is awesome. So much fun. And like there's some characters that are just like so badass. You're like, yes, this is the best. I love it. So much fun.
Yeah, man. So I guess
there's just so much. I'm like,
it's hard.
Do I talk about the whole dang thing?
Yeah, it's hard to ask you to talk about everything specifically, but I guess I just want to I want to see what some of your favorite moments were. Like, give us a couple of your favorite moments of the show.
Okay.
And then kind of tell me how you would get somebody interested in watching it.
Well, because it's so large.
Yeah.
And I think like a lot of it, there's like the term ecchi.
Yeah, sure.
There's like a lot of like they do emphasis on like boobs and like butt and stuff, but like I don't really find that to be like super distracting.
If it's not over the top all the time.
It's not all the time, and sometimes it's just like they just draw the characters, like all the characters have like huge boobs and like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like
it's unneeded.
It's fine and you get over it. But yeah, there are other times which this is a personal thing with Your Lie in April. They had a couple of ecchi moments in that.
You're like,
when it's
why?
a really dramatic show.
Yeah.
And that made me feel way worse about the show because I'm like, well, we're just conflating two different things here. It's not, we haven't shown any kind of romance. This is just, all right, you're looking at her ass. Cool.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't add depth.
What's
it's
the
not
point?
like they're trying to explore that this character is horny. It's not like it's Evangelion where he's masturbating over his unconscious friend's naked body.
Oh God, I've never seen that show.
Maybe you should watch that show.
I don't want to give myself an existential crisis, so I'm gonna pass.
So it's not like that where like there's a fucking reason for that.
Yeah.
And then he says, I'm so fucked up afterwards. And you're like, okay. So
there's a point.
There's definitely a point in that really weird scene versus Your Lie in April where it's like, yeah, I'm pretty sad and I don't really know if I want to play music. Look at that ass. All right. And anyways, she's playing music for a bunch of little kids right now. It felt unnecessary. Fairy Tail, on the other hand, I feel like it's this goofy, fun time to start out with, and it's a very rambunctious group of people.
Yes, they're always fighting.
So they're always fighting. Some big boobs and some emphasis on that would be a show where I would get over it.
Yeah.
Just like
it's
I
something
did
that
with,
I get over for sure.
The time I got reincarnated as a slime, they introduced the little lowly chick that's wearing pretty much nothing.
Oh, yeah.
I was fine with that because it's already a fucking weird world and like whatever. If a demon wants to look like that, a demon could look like that, I guess.
Yeah.
So there are times where it's totally excusable depending on what the show is.
That's true.
And I think I wanted to like Your Lie in April so much
that was
like,
really
made
disappointing.
Me more upset. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
That's a very like whenever I think of ecchi, that's one of my go-to. Like, yeah, I fucking hate ecchi, but then I watch other things and I'm like, yeah, No Game No Life is great.
Yeah, I also love No Game No Life.
These siblings are kissing each other.
Yeah,
What's your problem?
So like, fine. Super chill.
No, it's because they
you don't
need to share
understand.
oxygen, and she had to be naked because that was her punishment, though. Because like,
yeah, it's fine, Chris.
Anyways, it depends on the show.
Yeah. So okay. So, but there's like so many things I think like over like that outweigh that.
Yes.
About the show because like I don't like that either, but I loved Fairy Tail. It was super fun. I cared a lot about the characters, and there were some moments that were like, "Fuck yes, this is awesome!" Like there's this one. They're like in this tournament, this magic tournament, I think. And
okay, well, I mean, there's so many
things that happen. But basically, what happens is there's this main character. She's part of like the main five main group. Her name's Erza. Or they call her Titania, like queen or something. I don't remember. Okay. Queen of fairies. She basically is like this badass that everyone's fucking afraid of because she's like super stern and like, I will kick your ass.
Yeah.
And
I always like those characters.
Yeah, she basically, Gray and Natsu, the ice wizard and the fire wizard, they always fight each other. But really they're like brothers.
Yeah.
So she's the only one that can like really like get them to stop fighting, and they're like, oh yeah, we're fine, and they like hug each other, but they're like, I'm gonna kill you. It's funny. They got funny moments. But one of my favorite moments was with like they're like in this tournament and they're like laying out the rules, and basically they're like, you gotta fight this temple or this place is like full of like 100 demons, and they're all worth different points, and you need to get more points than like the other people that are like versing, that are like
it's
competing. Yeah,
sure.
Whatever. And basically like you can't, if you run out of magic, like this is how many points you get.
Gotcha.
And basically like you get to fight like different tiered monsters. So it's like a strategy of like, should I fight a bunch of low level ones and be like done and I'll get like whatever, but not that many points, or fight a really hard one and like not get enough and then like get kicked out and like not win. And then they're like, okay, like the strategy, like lay out this whole thing of like, oh, well, we'll have like whoever goes first is going to be the worst disadvantage, blah, blah, blah. And basically like she ends up like they pick her, she draws a straw and she goes like first. And they're like, all right, like what are you going to do? Like how many, because you have to like state how many like you're going to kill in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And basically she's like, oh, it's easy. I'm going to kill all of them.
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh my God, you're so stupid. What are you doing? Like, blah. And she just goes in there and fucking murders all of them. And she's like, yeah, suck it. Like, I don't care.
Great.
But like they build it up so much before that you're like, oh my God, like what is she going to do? Like, even though like, you know her as a character, they like, it's not so overdone where you're like, oh, it's really predictable of like, this is what's going to happen. Because there are times that they like don't win in the way that you think. Eventually they end up like coming out on top. It's usually Natsu. He usually beats everything.
Some fire magic.
Yeah, does some weird fucking shit where he like never gives up and like everyone else does, and then he's like, no, fuck you guys, it's our family, we're gonna win.
Yeah,
I'm gonna eat all the shit that isn't like, I can't, because he's only supposed to be able to eat fire and like normal people food. And then there's like a Tower of Heaven like arc. It's really good. And he basically eats this like pure magic and is like, he's like, I'm gonna do this, and then like turns into like part dragon, and it's awesome. It's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like the show so much.
Tournament arcs, I know for sure. Like,
they're so much fun.
Yeah,
that was like my favorite part in like Dragon Ball Z. Did they do it in Dragon Ball Z?
Listen, man, you're on your own here.
I'm sorry. It's either the very beginning of Dragon Ball Z, they do the tournament arcs, but I'm thinking it's probably at the end of Dragon Ball, where like Goku's like wearing his like weighted armor, like takes that shit off, and you're like, he's like losing the whole time against Tien. That was always like my favorite. I'm like, hell yeah.
Anytime they take off like weighted armor.
Yeah, you're like, all right, like, bitch.
I don't remember their names from Naruto. There's Rock Lee and there's somebody else.
I watched one episode of that show.
Anyways, when the younger one, because it's a dad and a son, when the younger one finally takes off his training weights and he's able to just zoom the fuck around because he doesn't have any kind of like special ninjutsu that he could use. Instead, he's just like a super fast fighter guy. They're like, yeah, he's just really good at fighting. And then finally the dad's like, hey, take off your weights. And he drops them down from the rocks he's on, and they make like giant explosions in the ground, right? And
so he's like super way fast.
Yeah. Anyways, that kind of shit, it gets me pumped. I like that. But tournament arcs, absolutely. In like every show where there is a tournament arc, I'm so much more into it.
Yeah, dude, Hunter x Hunter,
the tournament arc was
where they
amazing
do like
the whole Hunter arc,
the level.
At the beginning.
No, when they do like the tower or whatever.
Honestly, there was
a couple.
3.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I was super into those.
I was into it where they're like, okay, so we're pretty much magic, is what you're saying. Yeah. And then they start using their magic, but Gon's fighting fucking Hisoka.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Fucking insane. Ooh, great. Tournament arcs are always fun.
Yeah, they all are.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty fun, but, how do you convince me to watch this show though?
How do I convince you? I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's so big that I wouldn't ever recommend anyone to like be like, hey, you should watch this show, because there's so fucking much of it. Unless you're a straight up monster like me. Okay. Like I might tell Neil to watch it because apparently he's a straight up monster just like I am.
No, people binge shorter shows all the time.
But there's like 60 episodes of Attack on Titan right now, and he watched all of it in like 4
Attack
days.
on Titan is fucking
That's
amazing.
true. Okay, fine.
I would do that. Like when I first watched Attack on Titan, it took me like 2 days to get through the 24 episodes or whatever.
Is that the first season? And then you had to wait for 4 years for the next. I want to kill myself.
I just remember that I worked each day that I watched the whole show, and then I had to wait for like a few episodes in order for them to come out. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. I remember that specifically.
Literally, Abe put the show on. We watched like 5 or 10 episodes. We went to sleep. I went to work the next day, and I watched, because I had nothing, my work at the time, not my current job.
Yeah.
But my job at the time, I would do my work, and then I would have large swaths of time where I'm like, what the fuck do I do with myself? I'm so bored. And so I just started watching anime. I mean, I just started watching like anything.
Yeah.
But I started watching Fairy Tail when I was supposed to be watching it with Abe, and I got so far ahead that he came home and was like, I don't even want to watch anymore because there's just we can't catch up. And I was like, I'll go back and rewatch it with you. And he was like, fuck you. No. So he hasn't watched any of it since then. And then he would come in. He would come in and be like, how the fuck did you watch 80 episodes in one day? I'm like, dude, I don't know. Don't ask me. This is all I did sometimes. All day long.
Yeah, I've definitely been there and just fucking binged the show all day. I can't even remember what shows I've done that with, but I've fucking done it with several.
Basically, like any show that I've ever watched. Yeah. If it's done, I'm like,
well, that's the thing. I don't watch many shows that are completed.
That's true.
And sometimes when I do, it doesn't grip me in that way where I could watch them all. Mm-hmm. But then if it's a good show, I'll just fucking binge it. So let's say I'm on the fence. I'm thinking about watching Fairy Tail. How do you convince me? How do you tip me over that point of no return?
It's really fun. Uh-huh. The characters are really like well developed. Mm-hmm. They all have like distinct personalities, and their relationships like develop a lot.
Does it take a little bit to like some of them?
No.
Okay.
I feel like all of them I like. I think Lucy's the one that I like the least, but I still like her. And like she does like a lot of like redeeming things like later. Like they all have like distinct like personalities where like they act in the way that their personality is, which is something that I like. I don't like when they're like we talked about earlier. Sure. Like changing, like, oh, something's happening. I'm gonna like do a 180 and do something completely different.
I'm gonna keep being the same because that's who I am.
Yeah. So, and like, I don't know, it's really fun to like see their magic and stuff, and they're like, the story is really good. It like changes so much, and then you're like, oh, like you learn a bunch of like stuff, and the world's like really well built out, and you're like, what the fuck's gonna happen next? It's really good. I like it. But I don't know. I definitely couldn't convince you to watch it.
Oh, no, you couldn't convince me to watch it.
But I can convince people just by how excited I am about it.
Sure.
And they're like, oh, maybe I should watch it.
Yeah, because
that's how I get everyone.
I mean, you're fucking jazzed about it. Yeah, I can't blame you.
Like, there's a little character that you get introduced to like way later. Mm-hmm. Happy is the blue cat. He's an Exceed. That's his race.
Exceed.
Yeah. That's what you end up like figuring out where they came from or whatever. And all the dragon slayers, with the exception of Gajeel, for a while, have like little Exceeds. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck? Why? Gajeel's like, why don't I have one? And then like he ends up getting one. But one of the other dragon slayers, his name is Rogue. Yeah. Rogue has, I'm trying to decide which one has which. Rogue has.
The fact that you remember them is fine.
I know the characters' names. Isn't that crazy?
I know.
But his Exceed is my favorite. I have a plushie of him.
Yeah?
Yeah, he bought it for me, and he's so cute. He's the best character. He's barely in the show. His name's, I can't remember because I'm blanking, but
that's fine. When they're barely in the show, it's really hard to remember.
He's a little cat that flies, but he wears a frog suit, and I love him so much.
I've seen him.
Frosh.
I have seen him.
He's my goddamn favorite. He's so cute. He doesn't ever say anything. He just repeats. He repeats like what other people say.
And that's your favorite character?
He's just so cute. I love him.
That's good.
Yeah, he's a little cutie pie.
So what's with the cat people?
So, okay, they end up going to this like alternate world, I guess.
Okay.
And it's basically like the exact same except for it's not the same at all, actually. I'm sorry. I lied. Basically, it's this alternate world, right? And they have no magic. They're running out of magic. And then there's like this floating place where all the Exceeds are that they're like apparently all powerful, and they're gonna really like, it ends up you find out like the Exceeds like just tricked everyone and because they're super weak and they don't have any magic and all they can do is fly. And basically like the human king is like trying to like take all the magic for himself, so he like transports all the people from our normal fairy tale world and like turns them into like this big lacrima, which is like a magic source of magic.
Okay.
And yeah, they break out, and then it turns out like the queen of the Exceeds sent like their kids because they knew the world was like gonna end. They sent their like little egg hatchlings like to the other alternate world, like our normal fairy tale. So that's how the Exceeds are in that world, but they really shouldn't be. And so It's so fucked up and so weird.
I fucking love how when you're like watching it all,
it makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's making sense because it doesn't just fucking tell you like, and then this happens and then this happens and then this happens and you're like,
it's all laid out.
How did you get to point A to B there? And there's like so much more like, okay, well, what do we do? I think that this is probably the best course of action. Well, then how do we do that? And then they spend a while trying to figure out that one thing. So you have a lot to absorb that one plot point for a while.
Totally. So they get there and they don't have any magic. They run into like doppelgangers of themselves, like Lucy and Natsu, and they're like, what the fuck?
Oh, that's fun.
And then, and they're like alternate weirdo like versions where like Natsu in like the normal, our normal Natsu, like all the dragon slayers get motion sickness, so like that's our like one weakness is like they can't be on like any moving anything except for animals because animals are friends.
Animals are friends.
Yeah, so they're not transportation, they're friends.
So they don't go on boats.
Well, he does, but he's just like sick the whole time, and it's really funny. It's like a funny thing that happens all the time. Okay. Except for you meet Wendy later. She's like a little girl. She's like 10 or something.
Nice.
She's a dragon slayer. She's like an air dragon.
Okay.
And she like heals people, like she's like healing magic. She doesn't get sick on transportation. You're like, what the fuck? Why? Turns out it's because she hadn't gotten puberty yet.
So puberty makes you sick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then like from then on,
I get that. I get that.
Same, fam. So so the Exceeds, basically what ends up happening at the end is like all the Exceeds go to the magic world, our world that is normally existing because there's so much of it.
Sure.
And they take all the magic from the other world because they can't have it because they're bad.
Yeah.
They don't do it right. It's awesome. Nice. It's really good. It's really good because there's like this character that you've been with literally since the very beginning of the season, like the very beginning of the season, and his face is always covered, and he's like this mystery like guild member Mystigan.
Okay.
And then you realize that Mystigan looks exactly like Jalal, which is like this other character. Basically, Air's this like boyfriend.
It's a bunch of anime bullshit.
Bunch of fucking anime bullshit, but it's awesome. Turns out he's from this like, world. He's like the prince in this other world, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck? Yeah, it's crazy. It's really good.
I just love how you can be like passionate and love a show, but then when you start talking about it,
when
it
you're
just
like,
turns
what? This
into,
makes no sense.
Oh, and then this fucking happens. Oh, it's so fucking cool though.
Yeah.
Like you gotta trust me, it's fucking rad.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's really good, but it's like if you have a lot of time and you want something like big to sink your teeth into, that's like worth it, and that has like some emotional like worth it. I don't know. You know, because sometimes you watch something and you're like, I don't give a fuck about any of these characters.
Okay, well, like the longest show that I've watched is Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, it's really long.
It's really long.
It feels way longer than Fairy Tail to me.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
because
I'm watching it, I'm like, I've watched so fucking much, but also I really like the characters and I'm really invested in what happens.
Yep.
But it feels fucking long. So then when you get to like the second story arc and they're going up the battle tower, you're like, man, this has been for fucking ever. And they're just now learning about their magic.
Yeah, this is going to be for show for like 1,000 years.
Right? And then the third story arc happens and it's Killua who's going off and he's like trying to fight the spider troop or whatever the fuck they're called, the Phantom Troop.
Dude, I like that one.
It was rad. I think that was one of the best story arcs.
I like the video game one.
I like that one too. But what happens is you just spent like 24 episodes on 2 story arcs. Then you get to Killua's, and his is like a few episodes. It's like 12, I don't know, whatever, how many episodes long.
I love Killua.
Yeah, and I get through that. I'm like, damn, I would have loved more time with that.
Yeah, with his family, his fucked up weird family.
Yeah, or not Killua. What's his fucking name? Kurapika killing all the Phantom Troop or whatever.
Yeah.
That 12 episode arc.
Yeah, that's
sorry, K names. You know how it is.
Yeah.
As a Chris, I'm allowed to say that. So. And then it goes into the video game arc, and that went on for a while, and then it kind of like didn't really feel like it was going anywhere for a second, and then they finished it, and it was good, and I enjoyed that whole thing.
Yeah.
And
then you get to an arc where you're like, God damn it, I hate this.
Yeah, Chimera Ant. I'm like, I like the things that are happening, but I fucking hate this, and I don't know why.
I hate the characters, the ant people. I hate them.
Yeah, but I don't understand why. Because like they're villains, you're not supposed to like them, but it focuses so much on them that they become kind of the main characters.
You never see Gon or Killua like in.
But then you also get what's her face. I don't remember her name. The cat girl.
Pito.
Thank you. Of course, you remember her name all the time.
I do.
Every time I ask.
I don't know why.
Whatever. I'm glad that you do. But I loved Pito. She was fucking awesome.
She was a good character.
And there were a bunch of others that I just didn't give a fuck about. I didn't care about Cheetah Guy, but he gets locked in the like special realm where they do like smoke magic or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That whole thing, which lasts like 8 seconds, but then it actually takes like 30 episodes to wrap up their stupid bubble arc.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah. So anyways,
that show could have been cooler.
It had a lot of really cool things that I was super into, and then I stopped caring about it. So how did you continue to carry through Fairy Tail? What were the things that you normally don't like that would make you stop watching it that this show was able to get past and not do?
They didn't have a lot of things I didn't like for a long time. Like I had watched a lot of episodes before I got to that arc I didn't like.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well,
I'm already 200 episodes in.
Yeah, I'm too far to stop now.
Okay. So and at that point where you didn't like it and they fucked up, that was Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
And then you got past it and you liked the rest.
Yes. Okay. That's the only arc where I was like, I fucking hate this one. I hate it. Yeah. I didn't hate it. There's some episodes of it that were like, okay, this is good. But like most of it, I was like, oh God. Blah.
So you have characters that you know and love and you're able to follow and you just enjoy all of it because
it was fun.
It doesn't bring in any negative characters.
I watched the movies.
Yeah. Which are more so just like spin-offs and they're like
they're
filler.
like they're standalone, like don't involve the plot. Like you could watch it and then be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I just wouldn't know the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And that's how I think a lot of anime movies do things, is that you could just watch it on its own, but it's better if
for
you
like
watch
big
it with
TV
the show,
shows or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how the Detective Conan movies are, but I assume they're just like the show, but high budget.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
Well, it was weird because like Bungo Stray Dogs had a movie, right?
Yeah.
But it's like straight, like when you watch it on Crunchyroll, which is how I watched it.
Well, it came out in theaters and I wasn't able to go see it, and then it came out on Crunchyroll.
Yeah. So, but if you're watching the show on Crunchyroll, it's like smack dab in the middle.
Yeah.
It will roll from an episode straight into the movie, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
That's
no
just
preamble.
A weird Crunchyroll thing, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it does. I mean, you watched the next season.
Yeah.
It doesn't tie into the plot at all. Mm-mm. It doesn't matter at all.
Nope.
Even though they're like, this is the most important storyline there's ever been.
Yep.
After I finished, I was like, had some cool fights, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They weren't it wasn't thinking about it fights. It was just cool looking fights.
That's true. Well,
and I like the fights that happen in that show where you really get to think about it.
I can't think of a single anime movie that I've watched that is like plot canon.
Madoka. That's it.
Okay.
That's like literally it for me.
Where you're like, oh, you have to watch the movie because otherwise the next part is going to be like
you'll
get it, but also weird.
Surprise Madoka spoilers, and this is also for you, but watch the movies.
Okay.
The show ends, and the last thing that happens is Madoka wishes that there were never any witches ever. And that's her like giant wish that makes her into like the best magical girl. And essentially it's kind of like a Hail Mary, and it works out. Mm-hmm. And then there's no destruction, so there was never a witch at the end to fuck everything up.
It works out because like she's so powerful because her friends like time looping over and over and over and over and over.
Exactly. And she was already supposed to, this.
So she's like,
it's a whole bullshit thing. The movies, it goes on and you're like, this is just the beginning of the show. Mm-hmm. And then it gets to a point and Homero's like hanging out with a like witch, and witches are all different and everything's changed.
That's
and
strange.
Yeah, so you're watching the same thing.
What the fuck?
And then it turns out like, oh fuck, something's totally different.
Yeah.
This is a completely different thing because of what happened in the show.
Okay.
So I loved that. I thought it was fantastic. They're like, you have to see the show, but it makes it better. So yeah, definitely watch the movies.
Yeah. So the fairy tale movies that I watched, there's only two.
Okay.
The first one is not, it's good. It's not as cleanly, nicely animated as like the newer one.
Hang on. I have a question just for kind of a base point. Have you seen the My Hero Academia movie yet?
No.
Okay. Never mind.
I'm going to watch it though.
It's fine. It's literally the same thing where it's just, it's an episode, but it's high budget kind of thing.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah. So this is sort of related, but I watched it, and the second movie, I couldn't find it in, like, I bought it on Amazon. I rented it or whatever, and then it started playing in English.
You fucked up big time.
Yeah, okay, it started playing in English, and I watched the whole show in Japanese. And, like, I love the Japanese voice actor. It's like, you can't go from one to the other, like, all that way in. I had already watched every episode of the show.
Right.
And then I watched the beginning, like, 5 seconds in English, and then I finally got the freaking thing on YouTube, like, as Japanese, because for some reason there's no Japanese version on anime or on Amazon.
Yeah, that's
fucking
weird.
up, Amazon. What the fuck?
Get on your shit, Amazon.
Yeah, what
Jeff
the hell?
Bezos, listen the fuck up.
Fix that shit.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Their warehouses, all that shit. Fuck that. Just like get Fairy Tail better.
Yeah. So I watched the first 5 seconds in English, and then I watched it in Japanese, and then I realized that the English dubs, like, change how I perceive, like, the character.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
because he says something in the beginning, like one sentence or whatever. I literally watched one sentence of it in English, and then the Japanese version is, like, way more, like, in tune with, like, Natsu as a character, and you're like, what the fuck? Why is this so different? Why is it so different? Tell me, anime boy.
Listen, man, I do not know. Why the fuck? That's just something that happens with localization from time to time. Like, a lot of your classic animes that you grew up with, you can't watch it in the language that you didn't originally watch it in, right? But of course, I tried it.
It's like Dragon Ball Z. I cannot listen to the Japanese of it. I tried, and I was like, oh my god.
So I've watched Trigun in Japanese, and it's a different show, but I like it. Yeah, but it's very different. To where
it's so weird.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, that character has a way higher voice than in the... Okay, and then...
Dragon Ball Z.
As far as...
Goku and Vegeta sound like tiny... I get that they're supposed to be like monkeys or whatever, but oh my god. It's terrible. I can't.
So, Vash the Stampede in English, he sounds kind of like a goofball when it starts out. In Japanese, no, he's like cool boy all the time. But when he says goofy things, he's goofy. So he's like a cool boy with a goofy attitude versus English, where he's a goofy boy with a cool attitude when he needs it.
So
it's like
weird.
totally swapped.
Yeah.
To where I like it, but it feels so different.
Yeah.
Every scene completely changes the tone.
Like the beginning opening, he's like flying in a box in the dark, right? And you're like, and he's like, where am I or whatever? In like one of them, and then the other one's like, where is everyone? And it's like, he doesn't give a fuck where everyone is. He's like, what the fuck? Where the fuck am I? Yeah. It's like more.
What's going on with me? Versus
he's
where
literally
are
like,
all of my friends?
Where
which
the fuck
is his
am I?
whole fucking plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just like weird, like tonal shift. It's like, I don't know. It's so strange. I don't like it. So
it's fucked up, man.
My point is, I listened to that episode that you guys had a guest speaker of Duncan. So Duncan, if you're listening, get the fuck out of here listening to freaking dubs over subs. I'll kill you.
So, I mean,
I'm so offended.
I totally get it because it's way more accessible if you don't have much time, which it sounds like Duncan's a very, very busy guy.
Yeah, sure.
I can't attest to it because, I'm not him. But there are definitely times where I'm like, fuck, I just want to like cook some goddamn food and watch anime, but I
cannot.
It's impossible.
That's true.
Anime has to be your sole focus.
Yeah.
Which makes it so difficult for me to watch shows that I'm like, this would be a nice little fun show to throw on the background and while I'm playing around with games.
I can eat and watch anime.
Oh, yeah.
But I have to be like literally sitting, obviously, because like I don't speak Japanese. So I have to read. So I have to be able to read it.
Just staring at the TV.
Yeah,
no
eating.
Conversation. Yeah.
So I get it for that. But also like, I don't know. I listened to that episode and was like, you are the worst person.
I mean, hey, man.
And I told Abe that I would go on and tell him that he's the worst person.
That's totally fine. That's totally fair. But also, I disagree. I understand people listening in dubbed, but
I do listen to a lot of shows in dubbed that like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I listen to the English.
Sure.
And then
how'd your friend watch it?
English, because I told him I made him do it the way that I did it.
Sure. Okay.
So there's like a lot of like Miyazaki movies. I love the English actors.
Oh yeah, they do an amazing.
Such a good
like
job.
High budget.
Yeah, because they're Disney fool.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like.
But that being said, any Disney or any Ghibli movie going forward, try watching it in Japanese instead.
I should. No, I have watched. I watched Porco Rosso in Japanese.
Originally?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same thing with Nausicaa for me.
I haven't seen that one. That's the only one I haven't seen.
Apparently, the manga of it is huge, and the movie just covers the first arc.
Oh, damn.
And there's like a ton more. I didn't know that. I just learned it like a week ago.
Well, apparently the fairy tale manga is going back to fairy tale. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's the plot. So that's the topic.
Apparently the fairy tale manga. I don't read manga because I get like motion sickness when I like read them.
Wild to me.
It's so weird. I think it's because my eyes like can't adjust to like pictures and then trying to reid all at once.
But anime is the exact same thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. It makes me feel sick. So I've heard that the fairy tale manga is like a lot more graphic and like a lot of the scenes like
Usually manga is.
They tone it down a lot for like TV.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense.
More hardcore readers are more mature.
That's true.
As far as kids, they could just sit down in front of the TV and watch like a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And
I think that there's like another, like the whole series ends with them going on a 100-year art or quest, which should take like 100 years to do, but like, I don't know. They explain it in such a weird way.
Like, anyways, it didn't.
There's like this, well, that's how it ends. You don't know. But I think there's like, it's ongoing with the manga. But I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
I didn't look at
So they were like,
into it.
Show is over, manga is continuing.
Yeah, I'm hoping they'll just be like, hey, remember that time we said the show is over? Just kidding. Here's a new like 100-year episode. Or not episode, but they'll be like, the Fate series. Well, I just make a new show called this.
Yeah, man.
That's what but it's the same characters, same plot. That's what I want. I want more. I had 300 episodes. I would like more, please.
Just read the manga, man.
Hey.
You just got to get over it at some point, right?
I can't do it.
You have to.
It sounds expensive.
You could find ways.
Illegal ways?
No, you could get an app.
Oh. Well, maybe. Well, we were talking about...
Maybe it's even on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has a lot of free manga.
What? I did not know they had manga on that site. Are you?
I'm not fucking with you.
Oh, you're not fucking with me?
Nah.
That's so weird.
Every once in a while, I take surveys that they send just because I think it's important for people to get feedback about things.
I would take I wish Funimation would send me a survey.
And be like, fuck you for your stupid, shitty app.
Yeah, dude. Okay. I straight up hate Funimation.
Yeah, okay, damn.
Maybe only because I watch all my anime on my PlayStation 4 or in bed on my Fire Stick. And the app for Crunchyroll is real bad on the Fire Stick, but it's I hate the layout on the PlayStation 4, but it is functional. I get what I need from both of them eventually. Funimation
takes so long.
doesn't work. It's like,
sometimes you'll start an episode and it's like, where are the subtitles?
Yeah, and then I'll be like, let me buffer, and then I'll play a minute and then it starts buffering again and you're like, I want you to jump off a bridge.
Yeah.
I hate you, Funimation.
Funimation's a rough app.
If they just fix it, I'd pay for their service again. It's really cheap. And they have anime, and I like it.
Yeah. And they have really good voice actors.
Yeah.
That, like, the way that I feel about modern
Fix
dubbing,
your app, man. God damn it.
The way that I feel about modern dubbing is kind of how it was in that old era of anime that we used to watch. I feel like they've reached that same point where it's consistent, high quality dubs.
Good.
So pretty wild. I mean, it's not for like everything, but
I heard
there are a lot of really good dubs that come out each season.
It's so jarring to listen to something like, so I watched like those top 10s I was talking about.
Yeah.
And sometimes they'll play like the English
of
fuck something.
That. No.
After you've spent like 60 episodes with a character sounding one way and then all of a sudden to sound different, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm like turned upside down. I can't handle this.
But that's the thing. There are different people that are looking for different things.
Yeah.
And now with Funimation, it gives them so much more opportunity to just throw on a fucking anime. Same with Netflix.
Yeah.
You could just put it on and watch it and go do some dishes.
Yeah. But also that's not
it.
how I watch shit. I'm like, if I'm watching it, I'm going to be watching it.
Yeah.
So.
But not everyone is that way. Most people are not.
Well, that's true, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the Dragon Ball Z. Like, I can't listen to, like I already said.
Yeah.
They don't have the whole super, like, in
Dragon Ball Super's
English.
not, yeah.
And I got to a point and I like had to stop because there wasn't any more. And I'm like, oh shit. So that's why I started trying to watch it in Japanese. And I was like, I can't.
Nope.
I can't. I spent like my whole friggin' childhood listening to Goku sound one way. I can't go back the other way. No way. Hell no. Get out of here.
Anyways, I don't have much more to ask about Fairy Tail.
Yeah. You know, it's really long. It's worth it though if you've got some time. You don't have to watch it all at once. Mm-hmm. Just like, you know, a couple episodes here and there.
Space it out. You got a few years.
Watch an arc.
You don't need to,
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. Hopefully there'll be more.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe they'll remake the series like they did with Hunter x Hunter.
They remade it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I hope
watched
they don't.
Remake.
I hope they don't remake it because it's awesome. It doesn't need to be remade.
But here's what they do. They improve it.
Do they?
Yeah.
You know what would be cool is if they did like a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood type thing where they smash it all together into like condensed.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can because I think the manga is like really long also. And I think they already did that. But I don't know because I never read the manga. So, hey, might be wrong.
Who fucking knows, man?
Who knows?
Who knows? Anyways, I really appreciate you joining me this week.
Hell yeah, I'm only here for Hulas.
Okay, well.
Just kidding.
All right. So yeah, thanks for coming on. Next time, maybe we'll have you on during the Akira episode. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Let me on there. I'm ready. I'll be really prepared with like notes and yeah. I'll watch some live action bullshit too if you want me to.
That's the whole idea of it. Is that the movie comes out and then we watch the old movie.
That's gonna be really far away.
Yeah.
Didn't it get delayed?
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
They're making Thor 4 instead.
Oh, whatever.
Love and Thunder or whatever.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they should make a live action Akira movie anyway. Just throwing that out there. No thanks. But I do like the director they have for him.
Yeah, Taika Waititi's dope.
Isn't like Leonardo DiCaprio involved with this or something?
I don't know, man.
He's like wants to make it or something. I don't know.
I have no fucking clue.
Maybe I just imagine that. I'm like, get out of here.
All right, well.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I don't know what we are going to be doing next week, but fuck it. Juan has to figure it out. Like I had
Juan.
to figure it out this week.
Looking at you, bro. Better figure it out.
So thank you guys again so much for listening to us. Go ahead and check out our logo artist, turvytops.com. She's great, does all different kinds of artwork. You could also check out our intro music artist, Tom Nasser. That's NASR. You can find him on SoundCloud and Facebook and YouTube and wherever else. And then you could find us on Facebook. Look up the Answer Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Answer Ramen Podcast. If you want to go ahead and send us a tweet at Instant Ramen Pod. And you could shoot us an email, instantramenpodcast@gmail.com.
I want to say the thing. Let me say it.
Well, I was going to do it.
No, I want to do it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to have you do it.
Okay, yeah.
Anyways, once again, thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kate.
And Kate, don't forget.
Just had hot water.